Who teleported Eris and Teach off the island?
That was Kuma.
Who's Kuma? Dragon subordinate.
There's certain stuff they're not hiding
Who?
from the top.
Who knows
brass.
Who knows that? You think Akainu knows that?
They never
They've
saw them.
never seen these people ever. You do realize who they sent to Egghead, right?
So what happens?
Bro, the same thing that happens to everybody in One Piece. Big Moo come to see it.
Was he Domi Reversi? It's possible that he wasn't.
I think for sure he was Domi Reversi because I think we leave Elbaf with something permanently gone. Somebody ain't making it. Something's happening. And we can't downplay this feat. He 1v1 Big Mom by himself, stole the poneglyph.
Yeah.
Listen, let me see him pennies. He's like it. You see what happened to anybody else who tried to fight Big Mom?
Welcome to the very first episode of Ship Talk, our One Piece talk show where we dive into everything happening in the world of Ichiro Oda's One Piece. This is Sauce, Scotto, I'm Jay, and we appreciate you joining us and being a part of the crew from day one. Before we jump in, I know you two have a few things you want to say, so let's just open the floor for some quick introductions.
Welcome to the fleet. Again, I'm Sauce. We are more than glad to have you all with us, and we're excited for the journey.
And what's up with you guys? I'm Scotto. Ready to get into this journey. It's a lot to unpack here.
Absolutely. So this chapter wraps up the Guy Valley incident. Rox is defeated. The pirates, escape the island. Shanks is found in the treasure chest. Dragon leaves the Marines.
It's bussin'.
It's a lot.
Hair goes crazy. It's kind of a lot to unpack. So let's just get started with, let's start with God Valley.
God Valley. Well, we start the chapter with Rox. He's undomi Reversi. I thought, personally, last chapter he was cooked. I'm thinking that's the end right there, but he reverted back to human form. So at least we learned that powerful enough hockey can negate the Domi Reversi.
Right.
I think that's pretty hard.
The critical mass of Supreme King hockey is what they used to kind of reverse it. I was thinking, though, and I'm probably kind of jumping ahead here, but that immediately brings to my mind, I don't even want to jump there yet, bro. I don't even want to jump there yet. I was about to jump.
How you feeling?
Man, God Valley was a lot. It was a lot to take in. I think this is peak cinema, fiction, reading, whatever you want to call it. It's the answer to some stuff we have not known for over 2 decades. So I think this is just a monumental chapter. And to be able to see it, I'm just thankful I can watch it with my own 2 eyes. And it's a book.
No, facts. Facts. But I mean, man, with Rox, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna use my One Piece brain here. And I'm going to assume that he used the voice of all things when he was speaking to Garp and Roger, telling them, don't die here with me. And, initially I thought maybe, Rox didn't go out, with that smile. But maybe we just don't know. Because from what we read, from the actual chapter, it was a black blurred page. And usually, especially when it's the lineage of D, when they die, big cheese, super smiles. So for his to be blurred kind of makes me wonder a little bit.
Yeah, originally, so before this chapter, I kind of thought that he was going outside because he was like crying and stuff. But after everything played out, they turned him back to normal, and then he was kind of laid out, and then the God's Knights pulled up and kind of finished him. But it didn't seem like he was smiling, but at least he was kind of just
he was content.
Yeah, he
right.
He got that final scene kind of where he was just like, all right, first he was kind of confused, like, okay, do I get to live?
Yeah,
and then
right.
he looks up and he sees them. He's like,
nah.
"Guess not."
Okay, I see what it is. Right.
Like, guess not. And then they kind of cut to. So I wonder how they're gonna like animate this, because they kind of cut to Rayleigh and Gabon carrying Rox and Garp. Roger and Garp out, and but they didn't like show them pick them up. So it's like, how did
And that's what I was wondering as well. And that's what made me say, maybe he communicated with them through the voice of all things,
Right.
because as we read it, you would assume that they're all in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't make sense, because how did Scopper and, Rayleigh get Garp and Roger away from the Holy Knights? It was 3 Holy Knights.
Right.
It's an injured Rox, an injured Garp, and an injured, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right? That's
the
what I'm saying.
odds
It's
ain't in
like, so
they
they
favor,
obviously
so-
picked them up before the God's Knight showed up, but kind of the way that he was talking, it kind of made me like a little bit confused. But obviously, we'll have to wait to see how they animate it.
No, facts. But, to continue from there, we go straight from there to Roger's ship, right? What makes me wonder is, what type of durability do these brothers have?
But Rox was asleep.
Bro,
I
they just
mean
sunk-
Roger was asleep.
But they
That's
just
true.
sunk an island.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even think that was a day of recovery, bro. Like,
The lesson out, because you gotta really think they found Shanks in the treasure chest. So like, how long was he sitting in there? Because when they opened the chest,
Right.
he's happy. So like, he obviously like
that's what I'm saying. Like, that
Exactly.
was a quick turnaround, because they fled, the sinking, which again, God Valley being sunk. We assumed early on, especially after seeing what happened to Leloucha, we just knew something crazy, or a weapon or some outer source, did away with God Valley. And you mean whole time it was a 3-way Hell in a Cell?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because they thought they were done for. Honestly, remember before they even did the little final attack,
Yeah.
they thought they weren't gonna make it anyway.
And the thing is, we have to credit those 3 individuals with that feat, because everybody else literally left. There was nobody else on the island fighting outside of the 3 of them.
That is true.
That's crazy. These boys sunk an island.
Yeah, it disappeared. Kind of, you still kind of think that
Yeah, but doesn't that make that thought that something may happen in that area
No,
or
no,
something
no,
like
no.
that more
So-
realistic?
do you still think that the final battle is gonna happen on God Valley after seeing what you saw today?
After seeing what I saw today,
Nah.
it'd be a little bit far
Bro,
fetched.
it can't happen, bro. Like,
It'd be a little bit far fetched, but these were things I did not know at the time. So once we
but you
see
knew it was
happen-
gone.
But how it was gone though, because
Wano
this is the
sunk.
world government. They'll lie to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we blew it up, and it's right there. They
But-
just made sure you couldn't get.
But
to
you
it.
saw Leloucha.
I did see Leloucha. I
But
didn't
obviously,
see
that's not
God
that's
Valley,
obviously
though.
that's not the same way that it happened. But
You know what I'm saying?
they actually sunk it.
Yeah, no, that's
Like we
that's
actually saw
insane.
that.
Like, that's insane. Like,
that's
you
crazy.
have Leloucha, which Emu used
Whatever weapon,
Yeah.
which powered
With the
by the
power
mother
by the mother
flame.
flame,
You
for
feel
sure.
me?
uses that. But then the reason why this sunk is because of Rock's Garp and
Pure hockey. Pure, I want that.
And that lets me know what's coming in the
Hey.
future. It's going to be some real
That's
deal
ins-
hockey.
that is insane.
No, that's crazy.
But so they did find Shanks in the treasure chest, and I was thinking, I had a question. At what point do you think they find out who he actually is, or do they ever?
I think that this happens fairly early on, because back when Buggy fell sick, and I know this is crazy, nobody was thinking about this,
Mhm.
but back in the Wano flashback when Buggy fell sick,
Mhm.
because mind you, Shanks and Buggy are the only 2 Roger pirates that actually didn't get to go and find the One Piece. Odin, everybody else did. Everybody else completed the journey, but Buggy and Shanks didn't, because Buggy fell sick and Shanks stayed with him. After they returned from finding out the One Piece and Laugh telling this, that, and the third, before Roger went on his, the homies reunion is what I call it, because see, he knew he was sick and he hadn't told nobody, and he was making his rounds. So he was going through all the people he thought was important and, telling them whatever he thought he needed to tell them. Well, before he did that, when he gave Shanks his hat for the final time, he told him something and Shanks started balling, and they never alluded to what that was, like what that was about. We just know that when the Roger powers was about to split up, he told Shanks something, and Shanks hugged his leg and started boo-hooing hard,
He did do that.
like hard.
So you think it was that point he found out?
I think that that's what make and that would it would make the most sense for that to be the heartbreak. I mean, because think about it, you just spent your knowing life as a pirate. You popped out of a treasure chest.
Right, but what I'm saying is I was trying to figure out when did Roger and them find out who he was?
When they found the One Piece, when they learned the world history, mind you, Rayleigh and everybody like they know. Vegapunk just announced this in the anime, bro. The Roger pirates know the Void's injury. That's not a mystery to them.
Right, but how did they know where
Right.
Shanks came from?
Yeah, like
Because
how did
he's-
they know
That's
he's
not.
a-
They didn't find that out on Laugh.
No, because of his lineage, bro. They know who Garling is. They fought him. When they start connecting the dots, because once they find out the pretense to everything, you learn all the lineages and who's who, and it only makes sense that they know who he has a twin brother, mind you.
Yeah, but they were kids when they
Like they
disbanded.
were-
Yeah, but
babies.
the same way Shanks grew up a pirate, he grew up.
Yes, but what I'm saying is they like
How
When did
I-
they-
would
when did they
Roger
fight
know from
Garland?
that, though?
It's not that they had to fight him again. They are consciously aware that these people exist. And also, Dragon, the man who saved the children,
right.
he became a revolutionary and the pirates know him and they talk to him. Luffy don't talk to Dragon. Everybody else does. So, I mean, it's not a coincidence that,
But Dragon doesn't even know who they are. He just saw two babies,
by
and,
the
and then
but-
one of them
but-
got
but
taken,
listen,
and then he got knocked
But
out.
listen, by
Yeah,
the
I get where
time
you're coming from.
But
Jay.
listen though, by the time Roger and them left Lap, because mind you, Shanks and them didn't go. By the time Roger comes back from that trip, that's more than enough time for him learn this information. Dragon was already in the process of building the Revolutionary Army. He's very aware. Like
But what I'm saying is, who told any of them
Right.
who they are?
I'm
Because
think-
nobody
listen,
knew that Garland had kids
I'm thinking
besides him and
And
the
woman.
and the mother, and
Look,
he killed the
he
mother.
put her down. right.
Dragon, the mama told Dragon, "You have to save my children." Dragon watched Garland do that. Like he was there. Dragon is Garp's son. Garp and Roger, as we know now,
We know that.
are like homies.
He-
So it only makes sense that
He watched Garland kill her, or
Yes, he
hurt
would-
her. No, he found her. She was already hurt. Right.
Yeah, I believe
no
so.
gang. She commanded Dragon to save her kids. She couldn't have done that if she was already dead.
Well, she wasn't. What I'm saying, she
didn't-
was bleeding out, but she
Bro,
didn't.
that don't mean
wasn't
hey,
there.
these are Garland's
And
kids.
then another thing, who teleported Eris and Teach off the island?
That was Kuma.
Who's Kuma? Dragon subordinate. I wonder how
But
these people
you're
would know
still-
these
but
things.
You're
when
still
they're
not
all
understanding.
connected.
You're still not
Bro,
connecting the dots of how they
Yeah,
found
like,
out who Shanks.
how does
and,
that
what's his
tell
brother's
them-
name?
Listen,
Shamrock.
Shamrock.
Garland
You don't know. It's
is
okay.
part of a royal family in the Celestials.
Yeah, we know that.
We know that these families from Vegapunk, all the 20 families all come from somewhere. They all had like stake in the world. Garling is from one of these families, just like Vivi. Vivi, the Nefertaris, they're one of these families. By learning the world history and learning who's who, they already fought Garling. They know he's a Celestial. They know he's directly under Emu. Like they know these things
Right,
already.
But that still doesn't
That
doesn't
describe.
mean-
That still doesn't.
Does he have, like, red
explain
hair like
where the
them or
kids
something
come
like
from,
that?
bro.
Bro, they would know. Listen,
We haven't seen
they
him yet.
listen.
Like,
They
Like, you
would.
feel- yeah, exactly.
listen,
That's what I.
they would
like,
know-
questions still had to be asked.
They would know that Shanks is his son. One, because the man has an identical twin that works in the Celestials. Garp worked like, bro, the information network. The same way Roger stopped by Whitebeard and told him everything. Whitebeard was able to at Marineford announce the One Piece is real. The only reason he knew this for a fact is because Roger told him. Roger don't know everything he know just out of thin air, gang. Communication. Dragon has already been shown linking up with Vegapunk in the early days, communicating, trading information, learning stuff because stuff's happening. It's not far-fetched for Dragon, the man who saved Shanks, the kid who's on your crew, he left the Marines. Garp's his dad. Like, it just makes sense.
No, because you gotta remember. Dragon takes the kids.
Yes.
Somebody attacks him. Takes Shamrock.
Yeah, and then
and then he loses Shanks.
yeah, and the pirates pick him up as treasure.
So he didn't put him in the box. He lost Shanks.
I'm saying though.
So he didn't know nothing
Like,
besides the lady
like,
tell him,
Listen,
save my kid.
Yeah,
Listen.
pretty much.
but listen though.
That doesn't tell you who these kids belong
The
to.
reason that I'm saying what I'm saying and why I'm
I don't
thinking
know.
what I'm thinking is only because what has Shanks been doing since the start of One Piece?
We know that at some point he finds out. I was
No,
just asking.
I'm saying since literally the very beginning, we've seen Shanks travel the world and alert everybody else about Luffy. I don't think he's the only person in the world of One Piece spreading information. Dragon he had important information. Hey, bro, I saved the red hair baby. You found him in your treasure. Like, bro, this the information network. They have a lot of common allies. It's not far-fetched for the revolutionary to converse with pirates about these things. Again, by the time Shanks is walking and talking, so is Shamrock. He's in the Celestials. Dragon knows this. He saved both of them. The redhead twin babies. It's not a coincidence that one is in the Celestials under his daddy and the other one's with Roger. He can see that. Hey, bro, you know who that kid is? That this doesn't feel like some far-fetched idea that the people involved in the events spoke about this comment. They were all there. Dragon seen...
But that don't mean Roger knew this.
Dragon more than likely told him. Another thing, Dragon told Robin a bunch of stuff about Luffy. We know this because her and Sabo confirmed it in Dressrosa. Has Robin mentioned any of that? No. Again, us as the audience, we don't know what they know. But I don't think it's a coincidence that after the man finds the One Piece, he comes back and tells Shanks something and then he starts crying. I don't think it's a coincidence that Shanks goes to find Ace and Luffy and knows exactly where... he didn't talk to Garp. How Shanks know exactly where they at? How would Shanks know to go to East Blue and go to the exact island where Luffy and Ace is at, where they're getting raised, if ain't nobody talking? How would he figure that out?
I don't know, bro.
They're being hidden by Garp. That just sounds like people's talking.
It's I don't know, bro.
Like speculation at best.
Like, you feel me? Because for real.
Hopefully they explain it at some point, but I just don't know. I don't know how at what point he would have been found out. But I don't think Dragon knew, bro.
It's a lot of networking.
I don't think he knew whose kids he was saving at the time.
No,
he just knew he was
at the time of saving them, no. But I'm saying, bro, they grew up. Like, we know for a fact that Roger and them didn't find the One Piece until Buggy, Shanks, and them were like 10.
Right.
He found them when they were infants. That's a long time for them to be pirating in the world as just pirates trying to figure stuff out and stuff to be going on. And this redhead kid is growing up in, like, they're all on the seas.
Right.
And Dragon was not a revolutionary until 17 years after he left the Marines. And
17?
Yeah, 17. 17 years. It took 17 years for him to start the revolution. Like, he is now the revolutionary dragon. Like, it took 17 years from the point of his leaving.
I guess we'll figure it out, bro. But after God Valley, it kind of shifts over to just, the world seeing the like basically getting the story. The government Morgan cooks up a story saying that Rocks is defeated, the Rocks pirates are defeated.
Side note,
Garp has Garp was the hero and stuff like that. How big do you think Garp was before the God Valley incident? Or was that his solidified?
Giant.
He was already big before then?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only reason that I believe that is because when they announced that Garp did it in the citizens panel, because that's another thing I was gonna say. I don't knock the citizens for not liking Rocks. From the regular guy's POV, this is a terrible guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's super duper strong. But Garp, soon as they announced Garp did it, we knew it. We knew he was the strongest one out.
Yeah.
We knew it was him. How'd you know? How'd you already know it? This should be your first time hearing of him, man. But he was already that. That just stamped it. And he literally got the credit for taking down the strongest human being that everybody else knew existed. As far as the regular public's
and he was
POV.
fired up about it.
Because, mind you, people seen Rocks clash evenly with Harald, an ancient giant, who we all know is ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
And people seen that and then heard about it. And Garp, you took him down? Solo? The guy, and then God Valley got erased. It's just too much lore for you not to be the coolest thing we've ever heard of in life. Real talk.
Yeah, then he sees it and then he's pissed off about
It's
it.
hot.
And Sengoku's just like, bro, you just gotta look the other way
I
on some of
realized
the
that
stuff that the upper management doing and all that. And
Sengoku's real similar to Kizaru. Super similar.
Kizaru.
Yes.
What makes you say that?
Because they literally just follow orders and they try their hardest to not think about it and they just do it. Even when they disagree. And that's why Garp and Sengoku fall right there.
No, he's talking about looking the other way and just like ignoring what they're talking.
That's
like,
literally
what's going on.
Kizaru, bro.
No, Kizaru was dealing with it like I'm sick. I'm
I'm not talking about in reference of him killing his literal best friend.
Yeah.
Gang, all the other times.
Nah, I feel you.
He knew he was dead wrong. He just didn't think like, bro. Like that's his thing.
Yeah, but Garp was wanting to find, but he's basically like, Morgan needs the answer for this. So what was he talking about? All this stuff. Obviously, this ain't what happening. And then Sengoku's like, bro, like you just got like obviously the government cooked up a story, but there's so much going on. You can't just.
Kizaru said, and Egghead, the man was crying and was covering his face to hide it. Because even though he knew he didn't want to do it, but he was doing it anyway. That's Sengoku. Sengoku should have let Garp do his thing to Akanu.
No, I disagree because Kizaru is just doing what he needs to do, right? Because he took an oath and all that.
He's taking orders. He's literally doing the orders commanded.
Sengoku's trying to climb the ladder.
But he literally was doing just that, exactly what was commanded, and he didn't ask no questions and he didn't pass no judgment, and that's why him and Garp fought, because that's what Kizaru does.
I don't know. I think there's a
literally, you do what we ask and you don't ask nothing.
I was gonna say I think there was like a deeper meaning to it because the way they pointed it out is basically like because Garp was like, if you turn out like them, I'm gonna kill you myself, and then Sengoku was like, well, with friends like you, how can I possibly go wrong? So then it's like, all right, maybe they had this kind of dynamic to where it's like Sengoku's like, I want to climb the ladder, but you're gonna make sure that I don't basically do too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know that you're going to basically look over everyone else below us, and I know you don't mess with the world government because the world government and the Navy are two different things, which I didn't know. I thought it was one thing. I thought the Navy like worked for the world government. I didn't know it was two different organizations. But anyway, he was like,
that was an eye opener for sure.
Huh?
That was an eye opener for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the way he said it. He was like, the world government and the Navy are both massive organizations. I didn't know that it was two different ones.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought it was all
that's
synonymous.
No, that's why Garp always says that he doesn't want to take orders from the Celestials, and that's why I said that Sengoku was similar to Kizaru because, yeah, that's their boss.
Right.
And Garp from square one. Well, not from square one. Up until God Valley, he definitely was climbing the rankings to be, like, you know what I'm saying? You seen how he popped up at God Valley? He meant business.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just saying, I thought it was just a deeper meaning just because of Sengoku and Garp, just like that kind of dynamic between them. And, but we already know that Sengoku just gets older. He gets to, what's the position that he got to? The rank that he got to?
Fleet Admiral.
The
man who does
retired.
The man who does.
But I mean,
exactly
he's still
what?
alive, so you never know. It could be like some like deeper thing behind that, but I don't know. It was just I mean, Garp. You can kind of tell that he doesn't want to do what he's doing, but he feels like it's necessary because he actually believes in justice, even though he knows the world government just wants to do whatever it is that they want to do.
Right.
And then that kind of like leads into how they showed Dragon locked up, and Garp shows up, and he tells his dad, he's like, I'm leaving the government. I'm leaving the Navy. He's like, I know. And he's like, and I'm also disgusted with you. And he's like, I know. And it kind of just like,
yeah,
it shows that Garp understands the burden that he's carrying, and he doesn't really. I don't think he really wants to do this.
I ain't gonna lie,
but he feels like
we been
feel like the greater good though.
The Dan spanked him for letting Ace die. The man came home to a fresh tail whooping. Why? Because you sat there and watched him die, and you know what? He just took it. The whole city watched him get pounded down right on the shore. because I can't believe you let them do it to Luffy and you let Ace die, and he was just like, I mean, we already know how the man feel, but I'm just saying, I think, because I think that each of the current admirals that we know of, I think that they all kind of got a trait from one of the hires. And the reason that I say that is because you have the fiery justice, which is Garp. Now, Garp, Akainu hasn't had the revelation Garp has had yet with, knowing how terrible everything is. But, that they're very, very similar.
I don't know.
No, they didn't play with Garp. Bro, he don't play with pirates at
No,
all.
I'm talking about Akainu because, like, when Vegapunk got to telling the story of like what happened and stuff like that, he said, "You really gonna tell him everything?" So I feel like he's already aware.
But you have to remember, their version of everything is never the whole truth because they're underneath the people lying to everybody.
Yeah,
we know this for a fact. So whatever he's thinking is everything.
But they know what they look like in those forms when they touch ground. So it's like there's certain stuff they're not hiding from the top.
Who knows that?
Who knows that?
Bro.
You think Akainu knows that?
No, they never seen
You're
them.
crazy. They've never seen these people ever. That's why I said he's very similar to Garp. Gang, if Akainu seen that, he would try to kill it.
They've seen the elders, but they haven't seen them in that form.
See, but that's what I'm saying, because like you feel me, because like when he made landfall, remember they was like, if you're not a Commodore or up, do not make eye contact.
They know. Listen, they know.
So it's like I feel like a Commodores are up. Already know what he looks like.
No, they know.
That's why I say that.
They know of the existence. They know of their hockey. But as we found out from the not the flower room, but that little area, if you see what they look like, gang, you die.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't have no picks. They don't care who you are.
But the Commodores are up, don't
But
die.
the only ones that saw him was literally a king, though. So that's what we have to go based on.
And no, but this is what you have to pay.
He's not part of what they got going on.
But look, though, you have to be very, 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 very conscious to the detail that they gave us. You do realize who they sent to Egghead, right? The only man who was aware, again, the man who's not going to say anything, the lazy guy, the lazy justice. He's just going to do Kizaru. Kizaru is the only one of the three admirals, the current ones, that knows anything about the, like, Saint Saturn and them, as far as, like, Emu and all of that. Kizaru's the only one that knows that. And that's why they sent him.
They sent Kizaru because of his relationship with Vegapunk.
Because they know. Why do you think when...
And they sent Kizaru because Akainu is the fleet admiral, and what's his name is gone. So they had to send Kizaru.
But they have Green Bull and Fujitora. No, they have other options. No, they definitely have two other options.
He wouldn't have saw nothing.
Fujitora is already done at this point, remember?
No, he's not.
He's not really... He's got his own agenda at this point.
Yeah, because remember, he's duking it out now.
He's through with the government at this point, bro.
He's doing his own
thing. He's not
thing.
Through with it, but he's, you know what I mean?
He's doing his own thing right now. Like, he's in the middle of that spat right now.
But what I'm saying is, even still, Kizaru's the only man out of all three of them that has ever seen that. From our POV that we've seen. Like, we know the Kizaru's aware.
Wait, Fujitora, was that after?
That's Gravity. That's Dressrosa.
Yeah, but it was after Dressrosa when he was like, all right, I'm
See, what happened was he apologized on behalf of the world government, and Akainu got so mad at him for doing that he told him, "You're not allowed to step back on our surfaces until you capture Luffy." So he said, "Cool, guess that's what we're doing."
Yeah, but he's already got his like own agenda at this point.
Then he got summoned because of the Reverie,
right?
And when he got there, he immediately got into a fight with Green Bull because Green Bull is,
He said, "Why are you freeing slaves?"
So because
they fought.
Then they attacked the Revolutionary Army.
While Sabo and King Cobra.
He was going to bring down the meteor. He's like, "Bro, don't do that."
Yeah,
because at the same time, Sabo was infiltrating and sneaking and hearing the stuff about King Cobra. Like all of that was happening simultaneously. Yeah. But even still,
so basically on Egghead, at this point. Fujitora. So that's why they sent Kizaru, because he's the only one available.
I just feel like it's not a coincidence that other people of their same status have no idea that these people even exist, and you send the one that we know to be aware of it all, and only him. You send a bunch of fodder, You send Saint Saturn and you send Kizaru. There are no other people of importance outside of Rob Lucci now, because they also know. But they only know because they tried to kill him. And they survived, so the reward was, listen to us some more. Pretty much. Because when Rob Lucci lost to Luffy way back, that was like literally his death sentence. They tried to kill him. They just failed. And because they failed, they felt like, okay, maybe you are what we thought.
What do we know about the Gali Law?
They're massive shipbuilders, and they possess some sort of power that is needed to do something. What? I don't know. And I know that they're super terrifying and super reckless.
Mm.
It's the reason I was asking is because it jumps to the flashback of Rox telling Loki about the Gali Law and saying how Harold knows how to get access to them or whatever, and that's why he wants to, basically join up with, or wants Harold to join up with him or partner up with him or whatever, and just was kind of trying to figure out the significance of that. Because do you think that they're still around, or do you think that those were the giants that were frozen on?
We know
Punk Hazard?
100% that that's exactly who they are. They are 100% the giants that are, first of all, we seen
Frozen on
it
Punk
in
Hazard.
Punk Hazard.
Mhm.
And then I forgot what.
So what happened to him?
Bro, the same thing that happens to everybody in One Piece. You get too strong, you cause some ruckus, and then Big Moo come to see you.
Who froze him though?
Big Moo come to see you.
Nah, bro.
You don't think? Hold on.
That's
So
not. But he
hold
hasn't
on,
been known to freeze.
Listen
people.
though.
Yeah.
He hasn't, but magically he has Joy Boy's giant straw hat in an ice room. Why is that? Don't know. Musama. The man who just be giving people stuff, they can just do anything once he say. That guy? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
But this is so. What the God Valley incident was? How many years ago? 40.
Bruh, the Gali Law went down way before God Valley.
I know the God Valley incident was how many years ago? 40.
I believe so.
Something like that. Around that time.
Right, and Rox was telling Loki that
That Harold is the only one who can command and free the Gali Law.
right. So how can he do that? Is what I'm saying.
I believe that the Giants have a sort of like war cry innate ability amongst themselves. I mean, they are a warrior race. So I guess it would have to be like tied to hockey, and you would just literally have to like force them in, like you'd have to make them submit to your will pretty much. Because the way that they're described, they're mindless, ravaging, like terrible ancient giants.
Right.
Like
So
they're not.
he was saying that they're slumbering somewhere in the world. So obviously they're frozen in Punk Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're just frozen and they're not actually dead?
They're 100% frozen and not actually dead.
So okay. So at some point in the story, you think they're gonna get released?
Yes. 300 million%.
You don't think it's like a tangible item that probably has something to do with that? Like, cause I like something I've been peeping is like once they go to a specific island or something of that nature, there's something they discover that's there that's specific to that island that is going to help in the ultimate prophecy that we saw in the Elbaf, right? So like the big picture that we see where we see the ancient giants, we see Joy Boy, like we see the stages of the war and how it's supposed to come to a conclusion type deal. I feel like they find something at each country that they go to. So like how Wano had Poseidon and like how that was there. I think the thing that would control, what is it, the Gali Law? Is that how you pronounce it? I believe that it's going to be like some type of item.
No,
or something of that
Wano
nature.
had Pluton, brother. Poseidon
You right.
is Shirahoshi.
You right. The P's that got me. That's on me. So I definitely meant Pluton. But it was there at Wano though. So like I feel like it's specific to that country and why they could play a key part in it. And I feel like that's just something that he ended up figuring out. But that's just a theory of mine when it comes to that.
Mine's is the war cry theory. I just believe that the ancient giants, again, they're a warrior race.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot about just warriors in general through history, and a war cry is pretty on target.
Yeah.
And again, it being tied through hockey. You feel me? So Harold being literally the strongest giant of their lineage alive, which would in today's time be Loki, you know what I'm saying? He would be the one that possesses that. And Rox kept saying that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Loki was like, nah, you know, you're it. Like, you're the guy. And Rocks was like, no, yo, that is the guy. I'm strong. But if he gets access to what I know is here, if he just uses it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop us. Nothing. So I mean, it just makes me wonder, what is that thing? I think the item in this case is the devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I think, because we know for sure Elbaf has 2 legendary devil fruits. I would assume one is the sun god fruit, you know what I'm saying? Because one, Nika had a giant hat. I don't think you were just, the
Yeah,
fruit
Nika was a
allows
giant.
you to
Right, because he turns giant.
be
all
a
the time.
giant. So,
Well, yeah.
you feel me? That could be, but we also know that there's another one, and Loki ate it. And we know that he ate it because they punished him for it. Bro, you already was the demon seed of prophecy, and then you gonna go eat the stuff, chain him to the tree.
Yeah.
We not having that, bro.
What is it? What is it? They haven't said it yet.
We don't know. But we know for sure he ate it, though. And whatever devil fruit that is, has the whole country of Elbaf terrified. And another thing that I just thought about,
Can't wait to see that.
he was an emperor. So that means Emu was plotting, like, the Giants chaining him up and locking him, like, whatever him and Shanks talked about whenever he was chained up had to be super, 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 super important, because Mu just showed up and literally stated, yeah, now's the time that I just gonna take us over. Like, shout out to Harald for what he did back in the G. Now's the time I come collect. I think he probably hoped that Loki, assumed power and that he could just be, turned as well. But since they tied him to a tree and, didn't let him do his thing, that kind of messed up everything.
Right.
Because I don't think Emu was aware that Loki is still, like, a present factor.
Let's see.
I don't know.
And the only reason I say it, though, is because at the end of today's chapter, Harold is, saying that he wanted to be a slave or whatever.
He said he's willing to pay the price.
But Mu-sama did nothing until he said that. We didn't even see Emu in correlation to the Giants until he mentioned that he wanted to submit. So that leads me to believe Mu, no. We just gotta leave him alone. Unless they, you know what I'm saying, they're willing to submit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's probably one of those evil. I feel like the Giants are an equal to Luffy in terms of, like, well, the D family, the Giants, and I guess the third faction would be the Davies. Because the D family would be like Luffy and them, but the Davies is, as we know now, a different set of people. Even though they all are D, you feel me?
Right.
I think that those 3, like, lineages, and maybe the Lunarians, but I kind of think they was just victims, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but that kind of gets into what I was trying to say earlier that I didn't want to get into yet or at the time. But it makes you think, when the incident with him and Loki happens and Loki, does what he does to his dad, was he Domi Reversi'd? Because he offered himself to be a slave. I don't know. He might. He could. It's possible that he wasn't.
I think for sure he was Domi Reversi, because we know hockey of all sorts is tied to willpower. In order for Emu to Domi Reversi you, he would have to make you submit. When he Domi Reversi Rocks, it didn't happen immediately. He played with his head first. He said and did things that brung him down.
But he
And
Domi
once-
Reversi'd. What are their names?
Dorian Bragi.
Dorian Bragi.
Yeah, but
he didn't say anything to them.
But they have a way weaker will. See, because that's how hockey works. When my will is stronger than yours, you don't have a say, so I just do what I want. But when your hockey's strong enough, I kind of got to do something to weaken you a bit, and then, see what I'm saying? So the same way Garp and Roger hit Rocks with that supreme, you feel me? Loki's an ancient giant. I'm pretty sure with the devil fruit that he ate, that big fat hammer, and that supreme hockey, he did the same thing.
So if he was Domi Reversi'd,
And
but it can be reversed, Why'd he kill him?
Because
Or
mind you,
we don't even know because I haven't seen that yet.
Loki's.
Right.
But look though, Loki's still a kid though,
But he is dead.
And-
He did die. So
and also, I'm just really big on that's how it had to happen because he literally announced his submission, and then you see Moo's eyes in the corner. That is a very, 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 very big thing because Rox wasn't going. Like that happened against his will.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Harold, on the other hand, is openly submitting. That means that we know his will is tied to the well-being of the giants as he's proposing. I really, truly, in my heart, will do anything for my people to live at peace. Oh, you will.
yeah. So
You see what I'm saying? So
the
he
entire
gave
time
Mu
that
the perfect.
right. The entire
know?
the entire time I'm thinking Harold gets Domi Reversi, he attacks, or he goes back to the castle and starts, wrecking shit, and then Loki comes and stops him. But it's after they basically showed that it could be reversed, and also after they showed that Harold said he wanted to be a slave, or not say he wanted to be, that he would be a slave in order for if that's what it took or whatever. It just makes me think now. It's like, okay, what actually happened in that castle? It makes me think, okay, did he show up under Emu's orders to do something, and Loki shows up and stops him? Because he could have very well been in his right mind, or if he wasn't, if he was Domi Reversi and he just starts wrecking shit, then and Loki stops him. Why wasn't it reversed then? Why'd he kill him?
Well,
Like wasn't Loki still like wasn't Loki an adult when that happened though?
no.
Not an adult, but
Like,
he was older.
Like
No.
yeah, because like right now he's still like
He was
a child.
right now he's 21. And like
No, not like present story. I'm talking about like
he's
where
six-
he is
like,
in the flashback.
like
right?
he's 60 in present time giant years, but back then he was like 40 something.
Like yeah, like in
human
where
years,
the
but-
flashback is, he's still a toddler.
Yeah, but my
That's what I'm saying.
main point was this. When we entered Elbaf, we
Mhm.
learned very, very, very key factors. Important ones. Very important ones. No one's seen Harold do anything. That's why they blamed Loki as being the villain that they made him to be. If anybody's seen King Harald do anything evil, no one would be saying Loki is a villain.
That's what I'm saying.
He never left the castle because
Exactly, it happened in the castle.
Because when Loki, and they showed us this, Loki appeared in the castle because his daddy finally came back. He wanted to say something to him, and when he arrived, he sees all of these knights fighting his father. But while they're fighting, you see the same knife that stabbed Rox, which we know now because we've seen Rox get stabbed. But you see it. You see his subordinates stabbing him, his face in the air with the blood and the shock, and he literally from there was Domi Reversied. And then Loki stated, after that, I had to kill him. I could not let him leave the castle because everyone would die.
Yeah, I get that, but do you think he was a child when he did that, or he was a teenager?
I mean, in giant years, he was definitely a teenager.
No, but like his appearance on
No,
the panel.
gang.
Do you
No,
think he's
gang,
going to be like toddler Loki, or do you think he's going to be
Bro,
like what we see now in present day?
No, he's going to be whatever. Right now, he looks like a grown man.
Right.
He's going to look like a teenage
Where we are in
giant,
the flashback, where Harold is saying, "I am willing to be a slave for you," he is still a child.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but he
I
didn't
mean,
kill his.
obviously it was down. It was
Yeah,
obviously,
that's what I'm saying.
He
Like,
didn't-
are we about
listen,
to see him get killed,
he
or
didn't-
does that happen?
He
No,
didn't.
time passed.
He didn't kill his daddy immediately after God Valley
Yeah.
because immediately after God Valley, Rock surrendered to that took a long time.
No, I
Harold
get
surrendered.
that, but,
I mean, Harold-
but
yeah.
how the chapter is, you know what? Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
Because
yeah, I mean, time.
no,
at the
yes,
end
time
of this
passed.
chapter,
He
No, I
was
see.
older.
I see what
He
you're
was
saying,
older.
but
He's
bro, that was
obviously
way in
not-
the future.
Yeah,
Cause
it was
like
in the future.
way in the future.
right.
So far in the future, the Gold Roger was already king of the pirates.
I just forgot. I had forgotten that they had already showed.
Yeah, no, they showed us that. That's how we got to this flashback because Loki was literally like reminiscing, and we kept thinking, damn, because it was the magic circle. What is the magic circle doing in the castle? Why is the castle off limits? Why is Scopper chilling here? that kind of answered all of that, because this is where Loki had to kill his daddy, and Scopper,
I mean, yeah,
Loki.
but the magic circle can mean anything because they can come and go with
No,
that because
see,
that's how Shamrocks came
See,
in.
the thing is, the magic circle's only there because Harold surrendered to the world government, and because he's Domi Reversi, they all travel through the abyss. Once you get the mark of the beast, you can travel through the abyss.
That's what I'm saying. But who
So
says he was Domi Reversi?
it's on the, like, you'll reread the chapters, cuz you see his guards stab him, and Loki states, "Our father turned into a demon,
Okay,
and he killed him."
I forgot that
No,
piece.
like they literally told way before we even seen Domi Reversi for our own self. They told us this because we're wondering what could have happened to his daddy that made him kill him, and why did he get blamed for it? That was our big question, brother. He got turned into a big black super giant demon with wings, and he was immortal pretty much. That's what happened. The same thing that's happening on Elbaf right now is what happened in the castle. Scopper also alluded to the same thing, and that's why they didn't let him leave, and they didn't let anybody else on Elbaf see anything except King Harald. He got stabbed in his head, and he can't remember properly. So outside of Loki, the big giant with the big knife in his head that's still alive, he's the only other human being that's seen that. But
And-
he don't remember because he has a
Linlin did that,
knife through
right?
his head.
Big Mom did that to him.
No, that happened to him while he was fighting with Harold and Loki.
Then who did she?
Big
hurt?
Mom killed the other big dude. There was two old giant men. Big Mom killed one of them. The last one left is the old dude with the big knife in his head. He was the
Right.
successor.
Yeah.
He got that knife in his head because him and Loki fought Harold.
Yeah, some
And-
of the stuff be slipping my head,
Nah,
because
like-
I like
No, but that like they
binged it for like 8 months.
Nah,
so
see,
I
they
don't-
told us though that these are known facts that we can go back, read the chapter, and like you can see for yourself. Like that is there on wax. That happened. Because they was wondering how is he still alive with this big knife through his head? And they said he was in a battle, but nobody knows what happened, and he can't
So
recollect.
he was trying to stop Harold.
Yes, he was trying to help
And-
Loki, and that's how my
So he was
assumption is
Domi Reversi. But my thing is like, okay,
the OG giant that was super strong. You feel me? Because Dorian Broggy looked up to OG. You feel me? And then Loki, the successor to his own father, yes, they jumped him right in there and got him out of here.
yeah. So
And why Loki got framed? Because the guy he fought with has a knife through his head and he can't remember. Their father's dead, and you're already the cursed child with the snake eyes. We know you did it. And then, mind you, Loki can't say, oh, yeah, the demons came and flipped him. No, nobody's believing that. So he did what he thought was logical, and he took it on the chin. And that's why before we start the flashback, he literally says to his big brother, bro, out of all people in the world, you really think I killed our daddy? Why would he say such a thing like that to his big brother when the whole country obviously believes he did that?
So we know that at this point he's telling them the story about what happened. Do you think that that's going to be like the bridge that gets Loki to kind of like basically help out the Straw Hats, or maybe join the Straw Hats going forward, just because Harudin's a part of the fleet, or
I
wants
mean,
to be?
bro, I ain't gonna lie. Part of me thinks, cheesy story time where, the bad guy turns good, even though Loki technically was never really bad for real.
Right.
But, he played the villain role. But the other part of me, I really want to, lean into the themes of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Willpower, dreams, all of that really matters. People whose dreams don't line up don't be together. Loki's dream is the same as, Rock's, the same as Blackbeard. I don't really see them post Elbaf, on purpose working together. I think on Elbaf, right here, right now, obviously, I mean, we got to do what we got to do, but I don't think Loki aligns with what the Straw Hats have. And even though I know Luffy offered him, and initially I thought, nah, we getting him, but I don't know. I just know as far as the story goes, because I thought the same thing with Yamato at the end of Wano, I thought, after we beat Kaido, she's already like, she had a whole
Yeah.
character development, and then we left Wano, and she definitely didn't come with.
Nah, I feel like it's gonna be an ally rather than a
You feel me?
full-blown
Yeah.
crew member.
Because we have his big brother. And as long as him and his big... Like, I feel like what'll happen is Loki and Haruten will actually, like, seal their brotherhood, and it'll be on some Sabo and Luffy stuff.
Yeah, it's like when you need him,
Yeah,
I'm coming with you.
Haruten's gonna, still follow Luffy and be under the Grand Fleet, and if you mess with my big bro, then you got to deal with me.
Right.
So go to your. I think it'll be something like that, unless Emu just forces everybody's hands and nobody has a choice, because that's also a possibility. Elbaf could end worse than Egghead. We ain't got to like set sail happily in a minute. We've been like dipping.
Frantic.
Real talk. It's been busting at the end of every island pretty much. So, and I don't think that there will be good repercussions for anybody involved if Emu don't kill everybody right here, right now. We know they're gonna get away, and when they manage to, somebody or something, whether it's the island of Elbaf, whether it's a key character, something pays.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah.
They not make last time it was Vegapunk, quote unquote, because he still has 5 other living bodies and he can just, recreate himself. But I think we leave Elbaf with something permanently gone. Somebody ain't making it. Something's happening.
From the Straw Hats?
From somewhere. I don't know if I doubt it'll be a Straw Hat because they parallel Roger's crew and nobody. His whole crew made it. Why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they just spent the whole entire story basically.
As far as other key
getting
characters
together,
though,
I feel like they're all gonna be a part of it.
Vegapunk
But if so, I think it would be Brook. If it was somebody who they did lose from this,
What?
I feel like it would be Brook. The only reason why I feel like it would be Brook because he has prior connections to what's going on. And that's the only reason.
But he can't die though.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would be
but he
even
can,
more
though.
so for
He
it
can't
to be
die.
Brook.
Yeah, he can.
How can he die?
You break his bones, bro.
Then his bones have been broken plenty of times.
That's why you see him and Luffy drinking milk and they heal him, brother. That's how you kill Brook. You break his
But he
bones.
doesn't die.
No, if you break his skeleton, he passes away permanently. I promise you.
Bro, he doesn't. Bro, like his bones been broken plenty of. His skull's been.
If you look,
they've literally knocked his head off multiple times, bro. He can't die.
If you look up the alive fruit, it tells you explicitly. Since he lost his skin for being alive for so long, if you break his back or like crack his head, he dies. That's his body. But Brook is smart, so he takes his soul out of it most of the time before people can do stuff, and then he'll just be cool. But yeah,
He can't die, bro.
I don't think we read in the same book. They tell you about that
Where?
in Thriller Bark.
I didn't see. They didn't tell you none of that in the anime, bro. In the show, I didn't start reading until.
Yes,
Egghead.
bro, his skeleton. And when it's him, Luffy, and somebody, they got into it's just after a big battle.
I think you're just talking.
No, I'm not.
I think you're bullshit,
Bro, I swear. I will send you the clips later, bro. Luffy, Brook, and somebody else drink a whole bunch of milk.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Literally see their bones autocorrect like right there.
I remember that, but they never
Usopp's
explicitly said,
bro,
that
look,
Brook can die.
look it up.
He
Listen, the perk
Now,
of
this I wouldn't know.
the perk of his devil fruit, the alive fruit, is the second chance at life because in order for it to work, he had to die the first time.
Yes, exactly. So he can't die because he's immortal. Because
He's
he already
not-
died. He's already dead.
No, brother, that's not how that works at all. He can still drown.
Yeah, I think that's the only way he can die.
How could he drown if he's immortal?
Okay, I think that's the only because you're immortal. Okay,
Like, what are we doing,
okay.
bro?
I still think it would
Because-
be him.
Bro.
just because you're immortal doesn't mean you can't die. But what I'm saying is like,
No, that's exactly
I
what
think that's
immortality means. Cuz.
no,
Yes.
no immortality.
No, immortality means you cannot die.
No, it means that you won't just you'll live forever, but you can still be killed. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you basically won't age or whatever, but you can still be killed.
No.
Niggas who are
think so,
immortal
bro.
can still be killed.
immortal means no matter what happens.
Mortality is not a thing
Yeah,
for you.
you're
You don't die.
immortal. You don't die ever.
Bro, no.
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna lose one just yet,
Nah,
unless we are getting
yes,
closer
bro.
to the end.
Yes.
But that was just my thing.
Immortal means you
If
cannot
he-
die.
If anyone dies,
and yes,
it's Brook.
Brook can die. It'll be his second time. I promise you.
Yeah, it'll be the big one.
It's
You
the
feel me?
alive
So
fruit's
there's
power.
different meanings of immortality.
Okay, that's
There's
fair.
biological immortality
That's
and
fair.
their true invulnerability.
Okay,
So
I get
that's
that.
I'm
Okay,
basically
no,
saying
you were
that,
saying the biological joint.
yes,
But that's not Brook because he's a skeleton.
because he can still
he
be
don't
killed.
have no
Yes,
inside.
he can still die. Obviously, if he drowns and stuff. But I think that's the only way.
No, that's
is
what I'm saying. No, that's what I said.
I don't think you can break his bones and he dies because he's literally just
no,
bones.
gang, that's killing him.
Yeah.
That's the way you kill him, by breaking his bones. That's the way.
But that's what I'm getting at with you is like, when did they tell
Look,
you?
just look it up. They'll tell you too.
Now, how he dies, I don't got the answer for how he's going.
No, they'll tell you too.
But I do think if anyone goes,
how
it's
can
him.
Brook die? And they're gonna let you know by breaking his. That's the only way you can do anything to him. But guess what? He doesn't let anybody touch him because he's so fast, and he can remove his soul from his body. He's not.
But that's
impossible.
not going to be a thing when he's dealing with the God's Knights because Gunko already showed traits of being able to do stuff that would go directly against that, and I just feel like that would make some type of just crazy reunion between him and Gunko that Oda could be hiding to wait to spring out on us. That's the only reason I say it could be Brook, if anybody.
We know for a fact when Brook was in his time skip, he was playing with the magic circles. Same magic circles Emu's using to Domi Reversi and to summon people. Brook.
Short answer, no. Brook wouldn't die from broken bones.
So how does he
in
die?
One Piece, Brook's body is already a skeleton, and he survives damage as long as his bones aren't completely destroyed beyond repair.
Yeah, that's what he's.
So you have to destroy his bones.
The revive fruit keeps him alive, and he can reattach or mend bones.
So you have to destroy his bones, like I said. You have to destroy
beyond
him
repair.
because I stated I stated that you can break them, and he can repair them. That's what that says, because that's how his devil fruit works. But if you destroy his bones, he's dead. There's nothing to come back from. But if you break his arm, he can remove his soul and fix it. Bam.
Okay.
Yeah, Brook can die, bro. He can get the fuck on.
So if he does, Scotto will be back to tell you he told you so.
And it won't be a pleasant scene because they just told you how it has to happen. Ashes.
Ain't no way. And that's gonna be like the first signage of we are at the end. This is
now
war.
He is very, very hard to kill.
Yeah.
Dang near impossible. Again, he can travel through those circles, bro. Like the Soul King, the Abyss. That's where he resides. When he was fighting Big Mom, we learned that.
I gotta really dive into the ins and outs of all these characters.
Yeah, you just gotta, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Devil fruit lore. I myself, that's how I know this. I one day was just looking up, like, what the heck does this fruit really do? I mean, I've seen, such and such use it, but what exactly, like, how does it really work? Because I felt the same way about Whitebird's fruit. His fruit to me made no sense. You just punch air and everything shake. But then once they describe what's actually going on, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
I do agree with you, though, saying that at some point in Elbaf, something very serious is going to happen as far as
somebody's not making it. Yeah, somebody ain't making it, cuz.
I don't.
It might be Loki. He might be the sacrifice.
I don't think it's gonna be him though. Because he's in the mural.
That could be Harjuin.
Haruden, no, but it can't be because he doesn't have the horns.
Yeah, so he doesn't have the horns though. I think I was going to say, do you think he develops horns? I don't think.
No.
I feel like it's already set up for Loki.
He can't,
because
he can't
the horns is because he's
his
lineage,
race, exactly.
His mama was the little giant,
the pure giant,
and that's what I was saying earlier with Loki and Harjuin as far as like they brotherly beef. Brother, they've been beefing since birth.
Yeah,
Loki always felt like you're not even really one of us, bro. You're a half-breed mud.
Yeah.
Like you're not royalty.
That's why Haruden was in Dressrosa because he was trying to basically become strong enough to become king.
Yeah.
Because he understood that when he went back home, when they unchained him from that tree, it's up.
Yeah.
And he knew he had to be ready for that, but he couldn't handle the 10-ton man. Loki swing at hammer once, he might disappear. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what he can do. I really can't.
Yeah, but
I mean, he set the whole country on fire with one swing of that bad boy.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Brook though, bro. I really don't think it's gonna be any of the Straw Hats. I think they're all gonna.
I think it'll be Vegapunk
because they've all just had their not well each one of them really except for Frankie, but they've all had their moments where actually Brook too because we haven't heard nothing.
Frankie's gonna be MF in my opinion.
Right. What I'm saying is we since the time skip, we've seen everybody have their coming into themselves.
Yeah, the
moment,
blossom.
except for Broke, really.
No, that ain't true.
When was his?
Because he was a Soul King. He went on tour.
Right.
He went crazy.
Yeah, he
but
went
that's
on
pretty
tour.
much
No,
it.
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
We
that's
haven't
pretty
really-
much all we saw.
No. And we can't downplay this feat. He 1v1 Big Mom by himself.
Yeah.
Stole the poneglyph.
Yeah.
And they said, "Let me see them pennies."
Yeah.
He's like that. You see what happened to anybody else who tried to fight Big Mom? He fought her. No assistance. Nobody calling out plays.
Yeah.
Nah, young lady. It's just me and you tonight. Brooks like it. And then the thing is, I think he's being saved for later as far as his true extent. Because again, how could he do that? We literally seen what happened when Luffy's equals jumped her. And they got slaughtered.
I'm just saying because Zoro's was with
And
King.
And King and
and Sanji's was with Queen.
It's the raid suit and that the Germa developments.
Right. And then
I think personally the only people who have actually, as far as like in-game progression, right? As of right now, it's only Luffy, Nico Robin, and Zoro. None of the other members have even no. And the reason that I say that is because we know now, just through the context of what we're reading, that Sanji will become a conqueror. He will, have his, I have conquerors too moment. So he's not done elevating. There's still another level, you know what I'm saying? But like Luffy's at his peak. You could argue Robin at her, like when Robin was fighting in Wano, Brook was very clear. Y'all worried about the wrong thing. It's her. And then he, built the little ice wall and he announced, she even scares me when she gets in this bag. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think we got to see a preview, but that was letting us know like that's Robin's pretty much at where she's going to be.
Right.
But everybody else, no. I mean, Nami got a good weapon, but what is she going to do if we just 10v10 the Blackbeard Pirates? Zeus is not helping. Like, you know what I'm saying? They haven't gotten the upgrades that they need to actually be able to really hold their own against the heavy hitters. They're strong pirates as of right now, just all considering. They're a Yonko crew, you feel me? But again, if everybody had to be separated, nobody can help anybody, I don't see Nami or even Usopp right now, or even Frankie. What's Frankie
That's what I'm saying.
doing with anybody?
Frankie hasn't gotten
on
his
the-
yet for sure. But I think his is gonna happen on it at some point in Elbaf because he's not even with them right now. Right now he's with Vegapunk in the library, right?
Facts. And Robin.
But I do think
And that big tall lady.
I can't remember when, but I do think Nami did get her moment.
No, bro. All she did was get Zeus. She didn't, nothing happened, bro.
I think her.
Did she fight Alti?
Bro,
Nami's moment was
she
in
got Zeus, bro.
in Wano.
I'm not, every arc we fight. Every arc.
I think
we have our
Nami,
ones.
Sanji,
Also
and
got
Zoro
Zeus
was
on that
in
one.
Wano. But I do
Yeah,
agree.
but-
I do agree with you when you're talking about Sanji. He's
But
still
like,
gonna
they,
elevate.
like Zeus is
But
not
I think
enough,
Nami's
bruh.
is.
Nami has been foreshadowed to be the weather, queen sort thing, you know what I'm saying? She's the weather wizard, you feel me? Her and Vegapunk already been talking about, you know what I'm saying, enhancements to this, that, and the third. I just don't think right now what she has in her arsenal is even close to enough to fight the people on Elbaf.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, just because I was just saying there are certain members of the crew who haven't even come into themselves, right?
Yeah.
So, or into their highest form,
Yeah.
so to speak. So I don't think any of them are. I think they all make it out at Elbaf. But
Facts.
I
Easily.
could see that.
that's our time for today. Thanks again for tuning in to the very first episode of Ship Talk. If you made it this far, be sure to hit that like, subscribe button. We'll be right back here the same time next week. Peace.